Welcome to the test review video for the answers to our bonding review sheet. This looks like general chemistry. Let's walk through the answers here. It says a bond that shares electrons will be covalent. What principle states that atoms tend to form compounds so that each atom can have 8 electrons in its outermost shell? That would be the octet rule. Multiple covalent bonds may occur in atoms that contain carbon, nitrogen, or, well, need an atom going to bond multiple times. Hydrogen bonds one time, chlorine, all halogen bonds one time. Helium doesn't bond at all, and therefore oxygen will form double bonds. In fact, O2, which you're breathing, is a double bond. Isotopes of the same element have different, this is a review question, same number of protons but different number of neutrons. There will be a few review problems from previous tests on the exam. Given unit 1 of each of the following, alright, which unit has the largest fraction of mass due to its oxygen? Alright, well, each of these guys have 2 of the individual items listed and 1 oxygen. In this case, all the oxygens weigh 16, and all the other guys have varying weights. Francium is the heaviest, and lithium is the lightest, and they're all the same metals, they're all alkali metals. So because this is the lightest weight, which is going to be approximately 9, a little less than 9, this is therefore has the smallest percentage of mass of this guy, gotta double it, therefore this is the answer. Given one of the following, which has the largest number of atoms? They're all the same, they all have 3 atoms. Which one has the largest mass? Again, you would have to add these guys all up. They all have the same mass of oxygen, but as you look on a periodic table, the francium is the heaviest. The actual mass of francium is 223 as I look over on my book. So 223 times 2, add 16 into that guy. Total mass here is going to be 223 times 2 would be 500 or a little less, 490 something plus 16. Total mass, this is definitely the heaviest. You add all these guys up off the atomic masses, you'll find this guy is the heaviest. Manganese oxide is named as a covalent molecule. Key term here is covalent. That means we're using our prefixes. Manganese dioxide, which would be this guy right here. If the atoms that share electrons have unequal attraction for electrons, the bond is called polar. I will say that this is not something that we covered a whole lot in general chemistry, and most likely would not be found on an exam. Let's go to the next page. Alright, last multiple choice question. We got 4 Lewis structures here. What is the Lewis structure for hydrogen chloride? That'd be this guy right here. Remember, hydrogen only bonds one time, therefore it's D. Alright, Phillips milk of magnesia, or Phipps milk of magnesia. Let's go ahead and let's answer a few of these questions. Alright, to do these sets of problems, you'd need a calculator, most likely, and a periodic table. So it says A, milk of magnesia is a common name based on its white color. What is the actual name for this substance? And it's this guy here. That's going to be magnesium hydroxide. It's ionic compound, just name the cation, name the anion. How many actual particles are listed in the formula? Well, we have actual particles. We have 1 magnesium and we have 2 hydroxide. So in this case, I would say that we have a total of 3 particles. In this case, if you broke it down And I probably should clarify here whether we're talking about atoms or whether we're talking about actual particles. But if you were to go more in depth, you'd say that there would be total atoms would be 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. But I'm going to say 3 is the answer we're looking for here. 1 magnesium and 2 hydroxide ions. All right, 2 of these guys. Are there any polyatomic ions present? If so, what? Well, we have one of them, and that is an OH negative ion. If the polyatomic ions do not break apart when dissolved, how many pieces does it break into? Well, like I posed here, 3. That's them right there. If this thing stays together, it breaks into those 2 pieces. Based on your answer in letter D, what percent of the ions floating around magnesia are magnesium ions? All right, percent by number, or percent by individual, would be 1 divided by total, which is 3. That would be 0.33 or 1/3. Based on the formula of magnesium hydroxide, what is the total mass of magnesium hydroxide? All right, let's do that right here. Magnesium is MgOH, and there's 2 of them, so we're getting the mass of the magnesium. Magnesium has a mass of Mg 24.3. Oxygen, this guy is 16, this guy is 1, for a total of 17. There's 2 of them, so 17 times 2 is equal to 34. Add your other 24 in here for a grand total, the whole thing, 58 AMUs. That's how much that thing weighs, and that is the answer right here, 58. What is the percent mass of magnesium in the fluoride? Okay, well, of the 58, the magnesium weighed 24. 24 divided by 58 times 100 is going to equal, and I'll grab my calculator, it's about a little less than half. 24 divided by 58 is 41.3%. And then for ammonium, we have the type of bond here, and then we give the formula. We go back and forth here, I guess. But type of bond here would be, well, this technically is covalent. Formula is NH4 plus. And add the unit mass up here. Nitrogen is going to be a total of 14 plus 4 hydrogens would be 18 AMUs. That calculation is given again right here. We add all the pieces up. Sodium acetate N, well, this is ionic, and it's going to be Na2C2H3O2. That's the formula. I don't know why I didn't just write it right there. Okay, Na2C2H3O2. Adding everything up. Let's see. Na is sodium is going to be a grand total of 22.9, so 23 times 2. So the sodium is going to contribute 46. So I'm just going to tally them right here. 46. The carbon is 12 times 2 is 24. The hydrogen is 3 of them, each being 1. And the oxygen is 2 of them, is 16. Times 2 is 32. Add up all those items. 46 plus 24 plus 3 plus 32. I got 105. 105. Hydrobromic acid is a non-oxy acid. It is HBr. That would be 1 for the hydrogen plus Br, which is 79.9. I'm going to go 80 81 grams per mole. Sulfur dioxide is covalent, which is SO2. The sulfur has a mass of 32. Oxygen is 16 times 2 for another 32. Grand total of 64 grams per mole. This guy's name is covalent, and I'm going to just reverse it around a little bit here. Covalent, and it'd be carbon tetrachloride. I'm not going to continue to add up all the masses. That's something you can do on your own. Any questions, let me know. But in this case, I know this is covalent because of two nonmetals. Cation, metallic cation, polyatomic anion. So this is ionic, and it would be sodium nitrate. Acid starts with an H in water. Skipped one here, I'll come back to that one. So this is a non-oxy acid. It is called hydrochloric acid. Back here I have a polyatomic anion and a metallic cation, so it's ionic. And I have, the name is potassium hypochlorite. Hard to get the writing in here with this marker, but it is what it is. This again is a polyatomic anion that is going to be perchlorate and potassium again, so it is ionic, and it is potassium perchlorate. This is an acid, it's an oxy acid, and it is going to be sulf, because that's sulfate, I saw sulfuric acid. This is a metal and a non-metal, cation, anion, is therefore ionic, and we'll go aluminum sulfide. And last but not least, we have an ionic compound, name of cation, name of anion. It's not an acid, it's not listing as an acid, it's not using any prefixes. I know they just named this as an ionic compound because it's named cation, name anion. It is NaCl. I would at this point need to balance my charges, +1, -1, and it's done. Next page, and that is it. Only thing else I would expect to see on this test would be an ACT style question. Not much you really can do to prepare for that, other than to realize that all the answers are given in the written part or the charts, so be prepared for that. Thank you very much.